In this podcast episode, Ben Shapiro delves into the latest developments surrounding Donald Trump's transition and his controversial cabinet picks, particularly focusing on the nomination of RFK Jr. as Secretary of Health and Human Services. Shapiro highlights the reactions from various political figures and media personalities, emphasizing the implications of these appointments for American governance and public health. Shapiro begins by discussing the broader context of Trump's selections, framing them as a form of God-level trolling, particularly in light of the reactions from Democrats and mainstream media. He cites Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman, who humorously acknowledges the absurdity of some of Trump's choices, suggesting that they are designed to provoke and unsettle the political establishment. Shapiro contrasts this with the alarmist rhetoric from figures like Rachel Maddow, who claims that Trump's cabinet will lead to the destruction of the government as we know it. He argues that this reaction is hypocritical, given the Democrats' historical efforts to consolidate power within the executive branch. The centerpiece of the discussion is RFK Jr.'s nomination. Shapiro outlines Kennedy's journey from a Democratic primary candidate to an independent supporter of Trump, emphasizing his focus on public health issues that mainstream politicians often overlook. RFK Jr. has launched the Make America Healthy Again (AA) movement, which aims to address the growing health crisis in the U.S., particularly concerning obesity and chronic diseases. Shapiro notes that nearly 3/4 of American adults are now classified as overweight or obese, a statistic that underscores the urgency of Kennedy's mission. Kennedy's critique of the food and pharmaceutical industries resonates with Shapiro, who points out that many harmful substances are allowed in American products while being banned in other countries. He argues that Kennedy's focus on improving public health is a necessary counter to the industrial food complex and the influence of Big Pharma. Shapiro expresses cautious optimism about Kennedy's potential to bring about meaningful change, although he acknowledges the complexities involved in regulating food safety and drug approval processes. Shapiro also addresses the current state of the scientific community, highlighting concerns about the doctrinaire approach that has emerged in public health discussions, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic. He references Peter Thiel's observations about the balance between skepticism and doctrine in science, suggesting that the scientific community has become overly rigid in its acceptance of certain narratives. This rigidity, he argues, has stifled open debate and critical examination of public health policies. Kennedy's controversial stance on issues like water fluoridation is also discussed. Shapiro notes that while Kennedy's views may be seen as fringe, they reflect a growing skepticism about established public health practices. He cites a Washington Post column that questions the benefits of fluoridation in light of emerging research on its potential negative impacts on children's IQ. This discussion illustrates the broader theme of the podcast: the need for a more nuanced and open-minded approach to public health policy. As Shapiro moves on to discuss other cabinet nominations, he highlights the backlash against Trump's choices, particularly the nomination of Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense. Critics, including MSNBC commentators, have labeled Hegseth a white supremacist without substantial evidence, showcasing the hyperbolic nature of the opposition to Trump's picks. Shapiro defends Hegseth's qualifications, pointing out his military service and educational background, while criticizing the unfounded accusations against him. Shapiro also touches on the nomination of Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, expressing concern over Gaetz's controversial past and the baggage that comes with it. He emphasizes the importance of selecting individuals who can effectively counter the perceived failures of the current administration without the complications of personal scandals. The discussion highlights the challenges Trump faces in assembling a cabinet that can navigate the political landscape while also addressing the concerns of his base. Throughout the podcast, Shapiro reflects on the shifting dynamics within the Democratic Party and the broader political landscape. He notes that many Democrats are beginning to recognize the alienating effects of their extreme positions, as evidenced by the sharp red shift in urban areas. This acknowledgement, he argues, signals a potential shift in strategy for Democrats as they grapple with the consequences of their policies. In a lighter segment, Shapiro shares a clip of Mike Tyson discussing legacy and existence, which serves as a philosophical interlude in the podcast. Tyson's candid remarks about the futility of legacy resonate with Shapiro's broader themes of mortality and the transient nature of life, providing a moment of levity amidst the serious political discourse.